All right, Miles. Every single Sunday, we always like to look back at the teams that made absolutely big time statements with their games on Sunday. And one of the teams that just keeps coming up is the Seattle Seahawks. There's been a lot of reasons to talk about the Seahawks team. Geno Smith has been outstanding. Tyreek Woolen's been an unbelievable record setting pace as a corner. This team is fresh, young, exciting, and explosive. But there's a new guy to add into the mix, and that's Kenneth Walker. This guy is an absolutely unbelievable weapon. It seems like every other week we talk about the Seahawks, whether on offense or defense. They got another young guy stepping up who looks like he's a superstar. He was unbelievable, and I'm curious what you have to say on this. But before I hand it off to you, Seahawks fans, look, another massive win on the road against a really good Chargers team with a really great quarterback. This is a huge statement win for the first place Seattle Seahawks. Huge win, and we want to hear from you in the comment section below who you thought the MVP of this game was. Look, Waller's an obvious guy, but there's a lot of other great players. You don't get a road win of this magnitude without having a lot of guys step up. So we want to hear from you. Comment section below. Give us your MVP. But Miles, how about these Seahawks, man? They just keep churning out the playmakers and the big plays.
Nick, how about Michigan State? Where do they breed these running backs at? Is there like a lab underneath the stadium? Because you think like guys like Le'Veon Bell, Kenneth Walker, these guys are incredible. And he just came out of the woodworks. Coming in, Rashad Penny was the starter for a while. He goes down, and you don't even lose a beat. You might have even gotten better. Kenneth Walker today, 23 carries, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. The really, really long one, 74-yarder. So that was a crazy, crazy game for him. Obviously, he's had some big games, but this is like an explosion onto the scene, super statement game for him. And Gino's got some help. He doesn't have to throw it a million times every game anymore. They can start handing the ball off a little bit, and a true playmaker behind the ball. But Nick, it's like you alluded to. That's not the only guy that is a young guy on this team that's very impressive. We talked about linebacker Jordan Brooks, 2020 guy, drafted from out of Texas Tech. He had a couple of big plays today. He had the forced fumble. He's looking better and better each game. Tariq Woolen is actually looking kind of like a lockdown ball hawking corner for the
100%.
Seahawks. He had like 4 interceptions through 4 games or something crazy like that. Looking really good. And then the slot corner, Kobe Bryant, not the basketball player, RIP, but Cincinnati Bearcats, another product of that really high caliber Cincinnati defensive players behind Sauce Gardner. These guys are coming into the league and they are looking so good, and they're already making such a huge impact on this team. Seattle, traditionally, Nick, is a team who hasn't been great on high draft picks. The first round picks, they kind of whiffed on a little bit, but this draft class, these last couple draft class, they have some incredible young talent on this team that makes it an exciting nucleus to watch, don't you think?
100%, Miles. And you talking about young players. How about these young offensive tackles, Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross? They're making all kinds of big plays. I didn't hear a lot from Khalil Mack in this game. I don't even think he didn't have a sack looking through the stats again. I mean, he's Khalil Mack. He's still going to be involved to make some plays, but that's a credit to these guys up front, namely Cross and Lucas, for holding out, one of the better pass rushers and frankly, one of the better defensive lines in all of football, really limiting the damage they could do. But it's across the board, Miles. You see, Jordan Brooks had a really nice day. Kenneth Walker, Geno Smith. It's like this team is just so young, fast, and athletic and exciting. Kobe Bryant stepping up today, too. It's like teams, okay, we're not going to throw out Tariq Woolen. We're going to pick on Kobe Bryant. He comes out and has a really nice day. They physically dominated this Los Angeles Chargers football team. They held Justin Herbert to 5.7 yards per passing attempt through the course of the game. Now, 5.7 is terrible. Between 7 and 8 is sort of the band that you normally operate in. Bigger than 8 is a good game. Less than 7, like between 6 and 7, it's not a great game. To get less than 6, that's a really, really poor performance by the quarterback. Or on the other side, really great defense. We know Herbert's a great player, so it's not poor performance. It's on this defense having a great day. They did it in the running game as well. Chargers ran 15 times for 53 yards, 3.5 yards per carry. All around, I mean, this football team is probably one of the more complete teams. Geno Smith's proven himself to be a quality quarterback. Receivers are talented. We'll see. Hopefully, Metcalf's okay. Offensive line's young, but they're coming along well. Running backs like superstars. Defense, young, athletic playmakers all over the place. Minus this Seahawks football team coming into the year, we said this is going to be a tough year. Maybe 4-13, 5-12. Proved everybody wrong. Right, they're 4-3 right now, first place in that division. They're probably in the strongest position, frankly, to win that. The way the Rams and Cardinals and looked, and the 49ers with their injuries, this may be the best team in the NFC West right now.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with and believe that that is potentially this is potentially the best team in the NFC West. But Nick, you look, they've got a couple tough games coming up, but this is a team that can win a shootout. And one thing I really liked about this game that they played in particular is they got out to an early lead, obviously 17-0 lead,
Yeah.
big time. And then a little bit of a comeback. Chargers came back. It was 17-14. But then Seattle puts the gas down again. Sometimes, and I can say this from experience, sometimes you look at these teams who jump out to an early lead and they can't continue to put the pressure on for whatever reason, whether there's adjustments that are made, et cetera, et cetera. But this Seahawks team got out to an early lead. The Chargers started to come back just a little bit, and then they put the gas back down again. And to the end of the game, it was like 37-16. And then there's like a little garbage time touchdown, so it ended up being 37-23. But this Seahawks team really put it to them, and defensively did pretty good. Held the Chargers to pretty much 16 points until the very end of the game when a last-second touchdown came in the fourth quarter. So even 23 points, not that bad of a performance for this young Seahawks defense against a very, very talented Chargers team who had Keenan Allen back, who had Mike Williams now. Austin Eckler is a big-time playmaker. This is a healthy Chargers offense this time around outside the tackle position. But they did a very admirable job, I would say, against this Chargers offense.
Yeah, and to your point, I want to just highlight this because this is incredible. So since the Chargers cut it, from when the Chargers cut it to 17-14, listen to these next set of Chargers possessions. This is when the game was still in doubt. 3-and-out punt, 6 plays and punt, 6 plays and punt, 6 plays and punt, 3-and-out, turnover on downs, and then, of course, the garbage time touchdown when the game was over. This is elite level defense. Look, not in the way the NFL is these days, it's really hard to hold teams to 10 points, 6 points if they have any sort of quality quarterback. But when the game is in doubt, to go 5 or 6 straight possessions with punts or turnovers on downs, that's dominant level defense, right? And that'll win you a lot of football games like we saw today, especially when you have guys like Walker and Geno Smith doing his thing. So this Seahawks team is dangerous right now.